We'd like to welcome all of you once again to Saturday's Story. I have a special burden in my heart today because of all that we've gone through in the last few months. I feel like that the Lord has spoke to my heart that we need to be prepared to finish what God started in all of us. Matter of fact, the most powerful words in the Bible to me are these words that are found in John 19 and verse number 30, where Jesus simply said, "It is finished." This was absolutely the greatest completion that the world has ever known. This completion of what His purpose and calling in this world was. You see, the sin question had been answered. All the prophecies had come to pass. The paschal lamb had been slain. And it had all come to the very fact that He finished what He came to do. Matter of fact, the book of John tells us, he tells us in the 17th chapter and verse number 4, "I finished the work that I've come to do." I wonder if we could understand today that God has an assignment for all of us. That God wants the spirit of a finisher to get a hold of God's people. It's not enough to start this race. Matter of fact, Paul said the race is not to the swiftest. It's not the one who just starts out. But he that endureth to the end, he that crosses the finish line. That when you finish what God has ordained for you to accomplish in this life. That's why diplomas are given. Diplomas are only given to people who finish. Celebrations are given to those who finish their assignment. John the Revelator said that crowns would be given on that day to all of those who finish. I am talking to someone today that may be discouraged and down and out. But oh Lord, let the spirit of a finisher said, "Lord, you promised in your word that you're going to help me finish my assignment." Philippians 1 and 6 said, "Be confident of this very thing. Be assured of this very thing, that He who hath done a good work in you will finish that work unto the day of Jesus Christ." That when you stand before the living God on that day of judgment, He's going to want to know, have you finished? Paul said, "I fought a good fight and I finished my course. I have kept the faith." I pray today that the spirit of a finisher would get a hold of all of those that are listening to Saturday's Story today. And this brings me to Saturday's Story. It was 1992 Olympics in Barcelona, Spain. It was a spectacular event. This would be the culmination of all the greatest athletes in the world who would come together. His name was Derek Redmond. Derek Redmond was a young man who absolutely was going to be the one to contend with the 440 race. They had already predicted that he would win that race hands down. Derek Redmond awoke at 4 a.m. every morning. He ran 10 miles. His diet was disciplined. His body fat was zero. He had trained now for 2 long years for this day, for this moment. If you in your mind could see, if you could see all those who had prepared to race gathered at the starting block, when suddenly the gun goes off, Derek Redmond takes the lead just as predicted, and he was running. It was going to be a course record. Derek Redmond was giving it everything he had. He rounded the first bend, the second lap he made, the third, and the final lap was in view when suddenly it was like the blowout on the front end of a car that's going high speed. Derek Redmond, the ligaments in his leg went out, and down the cinder path trail he skidded. bleeding, disillusioned, broken heart, broken dreams, everything he planned for all this time, and now here it was. But what Derek Redmond didn't know, his father was in the grandstands viewing this, and when he saw his son fall, the father rushed to his side. Breaking through security, he knelt down by his son whom he loved. He put his arms around him to help him off the track. When all of a sudden Derek Redmond stopped, he pointed toward the finish line. And there, all the massive crowd of the tens of thousands of people stood with a standing ovation, clapping, as a father helping a son with tears pouring down both their eyes. They're limping across that finish line. They ask him, they hardly interview the winner, but yet Derek Redmond, they said, why? Why didn't you just get off the course? He said, listen, I fought too hard. I came too far. I sacrificed everything. I've got too many miles behind me. I've worked and worked and worked for me to stop short. I may not can win, but I can finish. Can I tell somebody today? You may not be, and you may not feel like a winner. You may have been knocked down. You may have been running this race, and all of a sudden this pandemic or something's happened to knock you down. But remember, the Father knows and He sees, and He's making His way to you right now to put His arms around you and to pick you up. You may have thought about throwing in the towel, but the Father is wanting to help you cross that finish line. You see, nobody knows who won that race, but everybody remembers who finished. And I'm here to tell all of you today, you may not have accomplished a whole lot in this life, but I'm here to tell you, you can all purpose in your heart, I will finish what God started in my life. I will not allow the circumstances and the situation of life to knock me down and to hold me back. I will receive today Saturday's story of the spirit of a finisher. I will finish what my God started, and with a Father's help, I will cross the finish line. Thank you so much. Please share this with someone if you've enjoyed Saturday's story today. God bless you is our prayer.